13. And as always, we do a recap of the previous chapter, which was chapter 12 yesterday. If you missed it, sorry, I keep forgetting to look at the camera. If you missed it, you can always go back into my live tab on my channel and watch all the previous ones. You know, I never know how much spare time anybody has. And you know, I wanted to add that it's not just for me when I do this. You know, I mean, yes, reading this is a good, you know, peaceful way to do a live because I never know what to talk about in my lives anyway. So I figured this would be a good way to go live and connect with people. But this could also be for you. You know, you could use it to wind down at the end of a day, or this could be kind of a meditation, you know, before you start your day, or, you know, if I can help just one person by just sitting here and reading a book, you know, if I could just make one person feel better about themselves, you know, I don't know if reading a book could accomplish that. But, you know, if reading this helps you in some way, shape, or form with your own mental health, I would really feel, you know, absolutely great about that. So, what else? I was going to say something else about that. Yeah, like if anybody's like going through a rough time and sitting here listening to me read makes you not think, helps you like not think about it for a little while and just gives you an escape, a release from the world for a little while, you know, that's kind of my mission. I just want to help people. And I want this to be positive. I'm all about positivity on my channel and everything. So anyway, enough with the sappiness. So here's the recap from chapter 12. Edward helps Ben Chaney get the courage to ask Angela out. Mike continues to be jealous of Edward. In gym, he asks Bella about Edward, and she laughs when he voices his opinion. Bella gets mad at Edward when he lets her know he was listening to Mike's thoughts during gym class. He promises to never do it again, and they made a deal that Bella could drive them to, I don't remember what their adventure was, Seattle or whatever their adventure was going to be. I think actually what their adventure is going to be is him showing her what happens when he goes in the sun. You know, the sparkly skin and all that. And then the other part was Rosalie confronts Edward about Bella knowing too much about them. Hello, everybody. Kind comments only. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified. I was giving everyone the recap. So we're reading Midnight Sun. This will be chapter 13. And I was giving everybody the recap on chapter 12. Let me make sure I have the comments on. I don't have moderators yet, but I do have a video about why I don't have moderators. If anybody gets time to go check that out. It's a 4-minute, like, long-form video. I mostly post shorts. I haven't really posted many long-form videos yet, but as the weather warms up and I get to go to the zoo more often, I'll have more time to post more long-form videos. Anyway, so kind and respectful comments only. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified, and let's get to it. Chapter 13. I did not feel the usual guilt when I returned to Bella's room that night, though I knew I should, but it felt like the correct course of action, the only right thing to be doing. I was there to burn my throat as much as possible. I would train myself to ignore her scent. It could be accomplished. I would not allow this to be a difficulty between us. Easier said than done, but I knew this helped. Practice. Embrace the pain. Let that be the strongest reaction. Beat the element of desire entirely out of myself. There was no peace in Bella's dreams, and no peace for me, watching her twist restlessly and hearing her whisper my name over and over. The physical pull, that overwhelming chemistry from the darkened classroom, was even stronger here in her night black bedroom. Sorry guys, I stumble over the words sometimes and kind of mix them up, so be patient with me. Though she was not aware of my presence, she seemed to feel it too. She woke herself more than once. The first time she did not open her eyes. She merely buried her head under the pillow and groaned. That was good luck for me. A second chance I didn't deserve, since I didn't put it to good use and leave as I should have. Instead, I sat on the floor in the farthest dark-shadowed corner of the room. And trusted that her human eyes would not spot me here. She didn't catch me, even the time that she got up and stalked to the bathroom for a glass of water. She moved angrily, perhaps frustrated that sleep still evaded her. I wished there was some action I could take, as before with the warm blanket from the cupboard. But I could only watch as I burned, useless to her. It was a relief when she finally sank into a dreamless unconsciousness. I was in the trees when the sky lightened from black to gray. I held my breath, this time to keep the scent of her from escaping. I refused to let the pure morning air erase the ache in my throat. I listened to Breakfast with Charlie, struggling again to find the words in his thoughts. It was fascinating. I could guess at the reasons behind the words he said aloud, almost feel his intentions, but they never resolved into full sentences the way everyone else's thoughts did. I found myself wishing that his parents were still alive. It would be interesting to trace this genetic trait further back. The combination of his inarticulate thoughts and his spoken words were enough for me to piece together his general mindset this morning. Hello, welcome in. Kind and respectful comments only. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified. Where'd I go? Inarticulate thoughts and his spoken words were enough for me to piece together his general mindset this morning. He was worried about Bella, physically and emotionally. He felt similarly concerned about the idea of Bella roaming Seattle alone as I would, only not quite so maniacally. Then again, his information was not as up-to-date as mine. He had no idea about the number of close calls she'd lived through recently. She worded her reply to him very carefully, but it was only technically not a lie. She was obviously not planning to tell him about her change of plans, or about me. Charlie was also worried about the fact that she wasn't going to the dance on Saturday. Was she disappointed about this? Was she feeling rejected? Were the boys at school cruel to her? He felt helpless. Sounds like my dad. So this is Midnight Sun. This is Twilight from Edward's point of view. And we're on chapter 13. The other chapters are on my channel. So in your free time, if you want to go back and watch the previous chapters, you can. What is this? I wonder. Where'd I go? He felt helpless. She didn't look depressed, but he suspected that she would hide anything negative from him. He resolved to call her mother during the day and ask for advice. At least that was what I thought he was thinking. I might have misconstrued parts. I retrieved my car while Charlie loaded his. As soon as he had driven around the corner, I pulled into the driveway to wait. I saw the curtain twitch in her window, then heard her stumbling footsteps race down the stairs. I stayed in my seat rather than get out to hold the door for her, as I perhaps should have. But I thought it was more important to watch. She never acted the way I expected, and I needed to be able to anticipate correctly. I needed to study her, to learn the ways she moved when left to her own devices, to try to anticipate her motivations. She hesitated a moment outside the car, then let herself in with a small smile. A little shy, I thought. She wore a dark, coffee-colored turtleneck today. It was not tight, but still fitted closely to her shape. And I missed the ugly sweater. It was safer. Oh, Edward. Wonder? Is that a book about is that connected to the movie Wonder? The one about the boy with Treacher Collins syndrome? Is that similar or is that a different book? I might have to check it out. As long as it's not a really old book. But this is Midnight Sun. This is Twilight from Edward's point of view. Where'd I go? This was supposed to be about her reactions, but I was abruptly overwhelmed with my own. I didn't know how I could feel so peaceful with everything that was hanging over both our heads, but being with her was an antidote to pain and anxiety. I took a deep breath through my nose, not every kind of pain, and smiled. Good morning. How are you today? The evidence of her restless night was obvious in her face. Her translucent skin hid nothing, but I knew she wouldn't complain. Good, thank you, she said, with another smile. You look tired. She ducked, shaking her hair around her face in a move that seemed habitual. It obscured part of her left cheek. I couldn't sleep. I grinned at her. Neither could I. She laughed, and I absorbed the sound of her happiness. I guess that's right, she said. I suppose I slept just a little bit more than you did. I'd wager you did. She peered at me around her hair, eyes lit up in a way I recognized. Curious. So what did you do last night? I laughed quietly, glad I had an excuse not to lie to her. Not a chance. It's my day to ask questions. The little frown mark appeared between her eyebrows. Oh, that's right. What do you want to know? Her tone was slightly skeptical, as though she couldn't believe I had any real interest. She seemed to have no idea how curious I was. There were so many things I didn't know. I decided to start slow. What's your favorite color? She rolled her eyes, still doubting my interest level. It changes from day to day. What's your favorite color today? She thought for just a second. Probably brown. Yeah, we're not dealing with that. You're out of here. Only kind and respectful comments only. No stupid comments like that. Don't listen to that. Yeah, I know. Only kind and respectful comments. No stupid bullshit like you're commenting. So, kind and respectful only, or you will not be allowed in here. Thank you, Laser Too Good. I'm trying to keep track of names so that I can get to know people. I never have the same people twice. You know, I always have different people, which is why I never have moderators. If I could get the same people in my lives all the time, then I would have moderators. I assumed she was mocking me, and my tone shifted to match her sarcasm. Brown? Sure, she said, and then she was unexpectedly on the defensive. Perhaps I should have expected this. She never liked judgments. Brown is warm. I miss brown. Everything that's supposed to be brown, tree trunks, rocks, dirt, is all covered up with squashy green stuff here. Her tone brought back the sound of her sleeping complaint the other night. Too green. Was this what she had meant? I stared at her, thinking how right she was. Honestly, looking into her eyes now, I realized that brown was my favorite too. I couldn't imagine any shade more beautiful. You're right, I told her. Brown is warm. She started to blush a little and unconsciously retreated deeper into her hair. Carefully bracing myself for any unexpected reaction, I swept her hair behind her shoulder so that I could have full access to her face again. The only reaction was a sudden increase in her heart rate. I turned into the school lot and parked in the spot next to my usual place. Rosalie had taken that. What music is in your CD player right now? I asked, as I twisted the key from the ignition. I'd never trusted myself that close to her while she slept, and the unknown teased me. Her head cocked to the side, and it seemed as though she was trying to remember. Oh, right, she said. It's Linkin Park. Hybrid Theory. Linkin Park's pretty good. Excuse me. Aw. Not what I was expecting. As I pulled the identical CD from my car's music cache, I tried to imagine what this album meant to her. It didn't seem to match any of her moods that I'd seen, but then there was so much I didn't know. Debussy to this? I wondered. She stared at the cover, and I could not understand her expression. Which is your favorite song? She murmured, still looking at the cover art. With you, I think. I thought through all the lyrics quickly. Why that one? She smiled a little and shrugged. I'm not sure. Well, that didn't help much. Your favorite movie? She thought about her answer for a brief moment. I'm not sure I can pick just one. Favorite movies, then? She nodded as she climbed out of the car. Definitely Pride and Prejudice, the 6-hour one with Colin Firth, Vertigo, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There are more, but I'm blanking. That's quite a combination. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'll take all the subscribers I can get. And it's funny, if you go through my videos, nobody really comments on my... Well, I mostly post shorts, but nobody really comments on them. And I think it's because every time I set boundaries, like, nobody wants to talk. But I guess that's a good thing, because if you can't say something nice, don't even bother, you know? But thank you, I appreciate you. Tell me when you think of them. Tell me when you think of them, I suggested as we walked toward her English class. While you consider that, tell me what your favorite scent is. Lavender, or maybe clean laundry. Ooh, I love lavender. Oh my gosh, I love lavender. I even like the color lavender. But my favorite color is red. As you can tell from the... it's red. She'd been looking straight ahead, but suddenly her eyes cut over to me for a second, and a faint pink colored her cheek. Was there more? I prompted, wondering what that look meant. No, just those. I wasn't sure why she would omit part of her answer to such a simple query, but I rather thought she had. What candy do you like best? On this, she was very decided. Black licorice and Sour Patch Kids. Ooh, I love Sour Patch Kids. Sorry. It's only me. That's okay. No, you're good. People float in and out, which is weird. It's always, I get the most when I first start reading, and then once I lay down some boundaries, everybody leaves. I don't know how that works. Where did I go? I smiled at her enthusiasm. We were at her classroom now, but she hesitated at the door. I, too, was in no hurry to separate from her. Where would you like to travel to most, I asked. I assumed she was not going to tell me Comic-Con. She leaned her head to one side, her eyes narrowing in thought. Inside the classroom, Mr. Mason was clearing his throat to get the class's attention. She was about to be late. Think about it and give me your answer at lunch, I suggested. She grinned and reached for the door, then turned back to look at me. Her smile faded, and the V appeared between her eyes. I could have asked her what she was thinking, but that would have delayed her, possibly gotten her in trouble. And I thought I knew. At least I knew how I felt, letting that door close between us. I forced myself to smile encouragingly. She darted inside as Mr. Mason started to lecture. I walked quickly to my own class, knowing I would spend the day ignoring everything around me again. I was disappointed, though, because no one spoke to her in any of her morning classes, so there was nothing new to learn. Just glimpses of her staring into space, her expression abstracted. The time dragged while I waited to see her again with my own eyes. When she left her trigonometry class, I was already in place, waiting for her. The other students stared and speculated, but Bella just hurried toward me with a smile. Beauty and the Beast, she announced. And The Emperor Strikes Back. I know that's everyone's favorite, but she shrugged. For good reason, I assured her. We fell into step. Already it felt natural to shorten my stride, to lower my head so it was closer to hers. Did you think about my travel question? Yes, I think Prince Edward Island. Anne of Green Gables, you know. But I'd also like to see New York. I've never been to a big city that was mostly vertical. Just sprawled places like LA and Phoenix. I'd like to try hailing a cab. She laughed. And then, if I can go anywhere, I'd want to go to England. See all the stuff I've been reading about. This led toward my next avenue of inquiry, but I wanted to be thorough before I moved on. Tell me your favorite places that you've already been. I liked the Santa Monica Pier. My mom said Monterey was better, but we never did get that far up the coast. We mostly stayed in Arizona. We didn't have a lot of time for travel, and she didn't want to waste all of it in the car. She liked to visit places that were supposed to be haunted. Jerome, the domes, Pretty much any ghost town. We never saw any ghosts, but she said that was my fault. I was too skeptical. I scared them all away. She laughed again. She loves the Ren Fair. We go to the one in Gold Canyon every year. Well, I missed it this year, I guess. Once we saw the wild horses at the Salt River. That was cool. Where's the farthest place from home you've ever been? I asked, starting to become a little concerned. Here, I guess, she said. Farthest north from Phoenix, anyway. Farthest east, Albuquerque. But I was so young then, I don't remember. Farthest west would probably be the beach in La Push. She went suddenly quiet. I wondered if she was thinking of her last visit to La Push and all that she had discovered there. We were in the cafeteria line at this point, and she quickly picked out what she wanted rather than waiting for me to buy one of everything. She was also swift to pay for herself. You've never left the country? I persisted once we reached our empty table. Part of me wondered if my sitting here had made it off limits forever. Not yet, she said cheerfully. She loves to go to spooky towns. There you go. You love Supernatural? I mean, I'm a skeptic. Like, I can be into, like, spooky stuff, but then I'm kind of on the fence of believing or not believing in ghosts. Like, I've never had any really paranormal experiences. You know, sometimes I'll hear noises in my house and I'll think that I'm hearing something. But then I'm like, well, maybe it's just the house doing its thing. You know? To you, it's not real. I'm like, I don't know. Because, like, those, what you call it? Like, all those paranormal shows, you kind of have to wonder if they're real or not. Especially, like, I always loved Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans, but nowadays you have to wonder if it's real or if it's fake. It's recorded, yeah. Or like those videos that I've seen on here. I've seen videos on YouTube of people supposedly having a mimic in their house, where you're in a room, or like you see them in a room and someone's calling their name from outside the room and like rattling the door. How do we really know that that person's home alone like they say they are? How do we really know? Anyway, let's continue. Though she'd only had 17 years to explore, I still felt surprised and guilty. She had seen so little, experienced such a meager amount of what life had to offer. It was impossible that she could truly know what she wanted now. Gattaca, she said, chewing a bite of apple with a thoughtful expression. She hadn't noticed my sudden mood shift. That was a good one. Have you seen it? Yes, I liked it too. What's your favorite movie? I shook my head and smiled. It's not your turn. Seriously, I'm so boring. You must be out of questions. It's my day, I reminded her, and I'm not at all bored. She pursed her lips as though she wanted to argue some more about my interest level, but then she smiled. I guess she didn't really believe me, but had decided she would be fair about it. This was my day to ask questions. No one's more boring than me. Yeah. Bella thinks she's boring. I had to start reading a book for people to come into my lives. Because they do. Yeah, exactly. It makes you believe it, though. Tell me about books. You can't make me choose a favorite, she insisted almost fiercely. I won't. Tell me everything you like. Where do I start? Little Women. Oh, I love the movie Little Women. That was the first big book I read. I still read it pretty much every year. Everything Austen, though I'm not a huge fan of Emma. Austen I already knew, having seen her battered anthology the day she read Outside. But I wondered at the exclusion. Why not? Ugh, she's so full of herself. I grinned, and she continued without prompting. Jane Eyre. I read that one. I read that one pretty often too. That's my idea of a heroine. Everything by Annie Bronte. To Kill a Mockingbird, obviously. Fahrenheit 451. Oh, I hated Fahrenheit 451 in high school. You like reading? You like stories? Nice. I like reading, but I haven't really sat down to read a book since actually, over a year, actually. Because I spend so much time on my phone or watching TV. All of the Chronicles of Narnia, but especially The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Ooh, that's a good one. Gone with the Wind, Douglas Adams and David Eddings and Orson Scott Card and Robin McKinley. Did I already say Ellen Montgomery? I assumed as much from your travel hopes. She nodded, then looked conflicted. Did you want more? I'm going on too much. Yes, I assured her. I want more. These aren't in any kind of order, she cautioned me. My mom had a bunch of Zane Grey paperbacks. Some of them were pretty good. Shakespeare, mostly the comedies, she grinned. See, out of order. Everything by Agatha Christie, Anne McCaffrey's Dragon books, and speaking of great dragons, Joe Walton's Tooth and Claw, The Princess Bride. Ooh, I love The Princess Bride. Well, I haven't read it. I've only seen the movie. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Let's see. Much better than the movie. Better than the movie. Impossible. Hello. She tapped her finger against her lips. There are a million more, but I'm blanking again. She looked a little stressed. That's enough for now. She'd done more exploring in fiction than in reality, and I was surprised she'd listed a book I'd not yet read. I would have to find a copy of Tooth and Claw. I could see elements of the stories in her makeup, characters that had shaped the context of her world. There was a bit of Jane Eyre in her, a portion of Scout Finch and Jo March, a measure of Eleanor Dashwood and Lucy Pevensey. Aw. I have read, have I read Chronicles of Narnia? Now I don't remember. Dragons? Yeah. Message redacted. Where did I go? I was sure I would find more connections as I learned more about her. It was like putting together a puzzle, one with hundreds of thousands of pieces, and no depiction of the complete image to serve as a guide. Time-consuming, with many false leads, but ultimately I would be able to see the whole picture. She interrupted my thoughts. Somewhere in Time. I love that movie. I can't believe I didn't think of it right away. It wasn't one of my favorites. The idea that the two lovers could only be together in heaven after their deaths rubbed me the wrong way. I changed the subject. Tell me about the music you like. She paused to swallow again, and then unexpectedly she blushed. What's wrong? I asked. Well, I'm not super musical, I guess. The Linkin Park CD was a gift from Phil. He's trying to update my tastes. See, I told you I stumble over the words sometimes. What were you into pre-Phil? She sighed, lifting her hands helplessly. I just listened to what my mom had. Classical music? Sometimes. And other times? Simon and Garfunkel, Neil Diamond, Joni Mitchell, John Denver, that kind of thing. She's like me. She listens to what her mother listened to. Oh, wait. This is not... She's like me. She listened to what her mother listened to. She liked to do sing-alongs on our road trips. Oh, yeah. Suddenly, the asymmetrical dimple appeared with her wide grin. Remember those definitions of scary we talked about before? She laughed. Until you've heard my mom and me trying to hit the high notes in the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack, you never know true fear. They do have some high notes in Phantom of the Opera, that Phantom of the Opera song. I laughed with her, but wished I could see and hear that. I imagined her on a bright road, winding through the desert, with the windows down, the sun bringing out the red shine in her hair. I wished I knew what her mother looked like, and even what kind of car it was, so my picture could be more precise. I wanted to be there with her, to listen to her sing badly, to watch her smile in the sun. Favorite TV show? I don't watch a lot of TV. I wondered if she was afraid to go into detail, worried again about me being bored. Maybe a few softball questions would relax her. Coke or Pepsi? Dr. Pepper. Favorite ice cream? Cookie dough. Pizza? Cheese. Boring but true. I too love a good cheese pizza. Football team? Pass. Pass? Basketball? She shrugged. I'm not really a sports person. Me neither, girl. Ballet or opera? Ballet, I guess. I've never been to the opera. I was not unaware that this list I was compiling had a use besides just learning to understand. Sneeze coming on. No, it went away. I hate that. When you feel a sneeze coming and then it goes away, I hate that. Yeah. Never know truth. Stuffed crust. That reminds me. The stuffed crust reminds me of Have you seen the movie Despicable Me? When the little girls ask Gru for pizza, and one of them goes, "Can we get stuffed crust?" And all three of the girls go, stuffed crust. That's what that reminded me of. You like basketball? I'm not really into sports, unless horse racing is a sport. Yeah. I love Despicable Me. That's going to be a quote of the day down the line. I'm going to do a quote from there. I was compiling had a use besides just learning to understand as much as I could of her. I was also learning things that might please her, gifts I might give her, places I could take her, little things and bigger things. It was presumptuous in the extreme to imagine that I could ever have that kind of standing in her life. But how I wished. What's your favorite gemstone? Topaz. She said this in a decided way, but then her eyes suddenly tightened and red flushed across her cheekbones. She'd done this before when I asked about scents. I'd let it go then, but not this time. I was sure the other unmet curiosity would torment me enough. Why does that make you embarrassed? I wasn't sure I had the emotion right. She shook her head quickly, staring down at her hands. It's nothing. I'd like to understand. She shook her head again, still refusing to look at me. Please, Bella. Next question. Now I was desperate to know, frustrated. Tell me, I insisted, rudely. I felt ashamed at once. She didn't look up. She twisted a strand of her hair back and forth between her fingertips. But she finally answered. It's the color of your eyes today, she admitted. I suppose if you asked me in 2 weeks, I'd say onyx. Aw, she's so cute. There you go. Just as my favorite color was now a deep chocolate brown. Her shoulders had slumped, and suddenly I recognized her posture. It was just the same as yesterday, when she'd hesitated to answer my question about whether she believed she cared more for me than I did for her. I'd put her in the same position again, of confirming her interest in me, without receiving an assurance in return. Cursing my curiosity, I returned to my questions. Perhaps my obvious fascination with every detail of her personality would convince her of the obsessive level of my interest. What kinds of flowers do you prefer? Dahlias, for looks. Lavender and lilac for fragrance. Ooh, those are good. Become family friendly. What does that mean? Sponsor you and my... What is family friendly? What do you mean? I'm never having kids, so... So if that... I'm hoping my quote of the days are family friendly. Because I try to do... I do movies that I know, that I've seen. Well, I'm hoping to do all ages, but if I... but I noticed if I click made for kids on my videos, that it won't let people comment. Not that anybody comments anyway. But if I hit, I want people to be able to comment. So if I hit that it's made for kids, nobody would be able to comment. But I hope that everything is for all ages on my, I try not to do any, super negative or, don't click anything. Doesn't it make you, though? Because, usually when I go to post a video, it says, it says you're required to click an age. But I'll see if it lets me, when I do my quote of the day tomorrow, I'll see if it lets me load it without doing an age restriction. Because sometimes it turns off my comments and I'm like, but I want people to comment. But like I said, not that they do anyway. On live, yes, but visiting towards. Oh, okay. Gotcha. See, I'm learning. Learning all the time. I'm not as talented as like a lot of the people that I follow. You know, I wish like it's hard to explain. The only thing I have to record on is my phone. But it's a long story, like controlling family, yada yada. So I can't really get. I wouldn't even know how to use the big setup that everybody has. You know, I wish someday that I'll have enough money to hire an editor and like maybe like a videographer like Haley and Kendra have. Because I follow a lot of people that their videos are so cool, and I'm like, I don't have the talent for that. Like, oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm burping. I ate dinner before I started my live. Anyway, where'd we go? You don't like to watch sports, but did you ever play on a team? Just in school when they made me. Your mother never put you on a soccer team? I tried soccer when I was little. I'm not good at any kind of sport. She shrugged. My mom liked to keep the weekends open for adventures. I did Girl Scouts for a while, and once she put me in a dance class, but that was a mistake. She raised her eyebrows as if daring me to doubt her. She thought it would be convenient because it was close enough for me to walk there after school, but no convenience was worth the mayhem. Mayhem, really? I asked skeptically. If I had Miss Kamenev's number, she would corroborate my story. She looked up suddenly. All around us, the other students were gathering their things. How had the time passed so quickly? She stood in response to the commotion, and I rose with her, gathering her trash onto the tray while she slung on her backpack. She reached as if to take the tray from me. I've got it, I said. She huffed quietly, a little exasperated. She still didn't like being taken care of. Only had 700. Yeah. Tried soccer, but it ain't good for. Yeah, I tried soccer. I tried ballet. I've never been good at anything. I could ride a horse, but still, like, I don't know. I was not meant to be good at things. I've resigned myself to that. I was not meant to be good at things. I tried ballet classes. My brain hates me. I can't memorize dance routines. I was that little girl always watching her classmates to see what to do next. I can't memorize dance routines and stuff. Well, ride a horse. I can ride, not that I'm too good at it. Like, the way my body is built, like, I'd be on the horse and I'd still somehow end up lopsided. Where did it go here? And nowadays, like the last time I was on a horse, my butt, I don't know what it is. I get off the horse and I'm sore as hell. Like, I don't know what it is. My backside does not cushion me. So, like, it feels like my pelvis is pressing into the saddle. So I get off and I'm sore as hell. I couldn't focus on my still unanswered questions as we walked to biology. I was remembering yesterday, wondering if that same tension with the yearning and the electricity would be present today. And sure enough, as soon as the lights went off, all the same overwhelming cravings returned. I had positioned my chair farther from hers today, but it didn't help. There was still that selfish part of me arguing that holding her hand would not be so wrong, even suggesting that this might be a good way to test her reactions, to prepare myself for being alone together. I tried to ignore the selfish voice and the temptation as best I could. Bella was trying too, I could tell. She leaned forward, chin propped against her arms, and I could see her fingers gripping under the edge of the desk so tightly that her knuckles were white. It made me wonder what precise temptation she was struggling against. Sorry. Today she didn't look at me, not once. There was so much I didn't understand about her. So much I couldn't ask. My body was ever so slightly leaning towards her now. I pulled myself back. When the lights came back on, Bella sighed, and if I'd had to guess, I would have named her expression relief. Relief from what? I walked beside her to her next class, fighting the same internal battle as the day before. She stopped at the door and looked up at me with her clear, deep eyes. Was that expectation or confusion? An invitation or a warning? What did she want? This is just a question, I told myself, as my hand reached out to her of its own volition. Another kind of question. Braced, not breathing, I let just the back of my hand graze the side of her face, from her temple to her narrow jaw. Like yesterday, her skin warmed to my touch. Her heart beat faster. Her head tilted just a fraction of a centimeter as she leaned into my caress. It was another kind of answer. I walked away from her quickly again, knowing that this one aspect of my self-control was compromised, my hands smarting in the same painless way. Oh, thank you. Oh, I like those little trophies. Those are cool. I like looking at all the different emojis sometimes because they're always adding new emojis. And I'm like, these are so cool. It's easy for me to be like, oh, that's so cool about something, you know? I guess I could say it's not hard to impress me. I'll have to look at what those mean later. Let's see. Okay. Emmett was already seated when I arrived at the Spanish classroom. So was Ben Cheney. They were not the only two to note my entrance. I could hear the other students' curiosity. Bella's name thought alongside mine, the speculation. Ben was the only human not thinking of Bella. My presence made him bristle a little, but he wasn't antagonistic. He had already spoken to Angela and made a date for this weekend. Her reception of his invitation had been warm, and he was still riding the high, though he was wary of my intentions. He was cognizant that I had acted as catalyst for his current happiness. As long as I stayed away from Angela, he had no problem with me. There was even a hint of gratitude, though he had no idea this was exactly the outcome I desired too. He seemed a clever boy. He rose in my estimation. Bella was in gym, but as in the second half of yesterday's class, she did not participate. Oh, I sucked in gym class. I was terrible in gym class. Sorry about the constant anecdotes, guys. As long as you don't mind them. Her eyes were far away whenever Mike Newton turned to look at her. She was obviously elsewhere in her head. Mike guessed that anything he had to say to her would be unwelcome. Guess I never really had a chance, he thought, half resigned, half sullen. How did it even happen? It was like overnight. Guess when Cullen wants something, it doesn't take him long to get it. The images that followed his ideas of what I'd gotten were offensive. I stopped listening. Mike Newton is so crude. Hang on, let me finish my Pepsi real quick. What time is it there? Oh, here in I'm in Colorado, United States. It is 9 minutes to 3 a.m. Where'd it go? I didn't like his perspective, as though Bella had no will of her own. Surely she'd been the one to choose, hadn't she? If she had ever asked me to leave her alone, I would have turned around and walked the other way. But she'd wanted me to stay, then and now. My thoughts drifted back to check in on the Spanish classroom, and I naturally tuned in to the most familiar voice, but my mind was tangled around Bella as usual, so for a moment I didn't realize what I was hearing. And then my teeth clamped together so hard that even the humans near me heard. One boy looked around for the source of the cracking sound. Oops, Emmett thought. I curled my hands into fists and concentrated on staying in my seat. Sorry, I was trying not to think about that. Sorry. I glanced at the clock, 15 minutes before I could punch him in the face. I didn't mean any harm. Hey, I took your side, right? Honestly, Jasper and Rose are just being silly. Betting against Alice. It's the easiest wager I'll ever win. A wager about this weekend, whether Bella would live or die. Oh, jeez. Already Where do you live? Sounds like the Midwest. So it'd be 2:51 here. So 3:51 would be like the Midwest. Texas. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Where'd it go? Okay. 14 and a half minutes. Emmett squirmed in his seat, well aware what my total motionlessness indicated. Come on, Ed. You know it wasn't serious. Anyway, it's not even about the girl. You know better than I do whatever's going on with Rose. Something between you two, I guess. She's still mad, and she wouldn't admit for all the world that she's actually rooting for you. He always gave Rosalie the benefit of the doubt, and though I knew that I was just the opposite, I never gave her the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think he was right this time. Rosalie would be pleased to see me fail in this. She would be happy to see Bella's poor choices receive what she considered their just reward. And then she'd still be jealous as Bella's soul escaped to whatever waited beyond. And Jazz, well, you know. He's tired of being the weakest link. You're kind of too perfect with the self-control, and it gets annoying. Carlisle's different. Admit it. You're a little smug. Excuse me. 13 minutes. For Emmett and Jasper, this was just some sticky pit of quicksand I'd created for myself. Fail or succeed, to them, in the end, it was nothing more than another anecdote about me. Bella wasn't part of the equation. Her life was only a marker in the bet they'd made. Don't take it personally. There was another way? 12 and a half minutes. You want me to back out of it? I will. I sighed and let the rigidity of my pose relax. What was the point of stoking my anger? Should I blame them for their inability to understand? How could they? How meaningless it all was. Infuriating, yes, but would I have been any different if it hadn't been my life that had changed? If it hadn't been about Bella? Ha, smug. Yeah. Regardless, I didn't have time to fight with Emmett now. I would be waiting for Bella when she was done with Jim. So many more pieces to the puzzle I needed to discover. I heard Emmett's relief as I darted out the door at the first sound of the bell, ignoring him. When Bella walked through the gymnasium door and saw me, a smile spread across her face. I felt the same relief I had in the car this morning. All my doubts and torments seemed to lift from my shoulders. I knew that they were still very real, but the weight was so much easier to carry when I could see her. Tell me about your home, I said as we walked to the car. What do you miss? My house or Phoenix? Or do you mean here? All of those. She looked at me questioningly. Was I serious? Please, I asked as I held the door for her. She raised one eyebrow as she climbed in, still doubting. Okay, I cannot raise one eyebrow. I looked it up and there's a way to teach yourself how to do it, but I'm 36 and I don't know how to lift one eyebrow. I think it'd be cool to know how to do, though. But when I was inside and we were alone again, she seemed to relax. Have you never been to Phoenix? I smiled, no. Right, she said, of course, the sun. She speculated about that silently for a moment. It creates some kind of a problem for you? Indeed. I wasn't about to try to explain that answer. It was really something that had to be seen to be understood. Also, Phoenix was a little too close for comfort to the lands the aggressive southern clans claimed. But that wasn't a story I wanted to get into either. She waited, wondering if I would elaborate. So tell me about this place I've never seen, I prompted. She considered for a moment. The city is mostly very flat, not much taller than 1 or 2 stories. There are a few baby skyscrapers downtown, but that was pretty far away from where I lived. Phoenix is huge. You can drive through suburbs all day, lots of stucco and tile and gravel. It's not all soft and squishy like it is here. Everything is hard and most things have thorns. That's very true. I've been to Phoenix. I've got family that lives in, like, Phoenix, and I think I have one relative that lives in Goodyear, and another relative that lives in Avondale, and they're spread out throughout. Vampire side. This is yes, it's Twilight from Edward's point of view. So, and it's funny because Stephanie Meyer only wrote this from Edward's point of view. It'd be funny. I think it'd be cool if she did, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn from Edward's point of view as well, and not just this one. That would be funny to see. But I've read through this once already, like on my own time. This is the first time reading it out loud, and I usually explain in all my lives that I'm not used to reading out loud. So that's why I stumble over the words, and I had a little kid come in one time telling me I read too fast, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't really control that. Where'd it go? But you like it. She nodded with a grin. It's so open, just all sky. The things we call mountains are really just hills, hard, thorny hills. But most of the valley is a big, shallow bowl, and it feels like it's filled with sunlight all the time. She illustrated the shape with her hands. The plants are like modern art compared to the stuff here. Lots of angles and edges, mostly spiky. Another grin. But they're all open, too. Even if there are leaves, they're just feathery, sparse things. Nothing can really hide there. Nothing keeps the sun out. I stopped the car in front of her house, my usual spot. Well, it does rain occasionally, she amended. But it's different there. More exciting. Lots of thunder and lightning and flash floods. Also known as monsoons. Not just the non-stop drizzle thing. And it smells better there. That's the creosote. I knew the evergreen desert shrubs she referred to. I'd seen them through a car window in Southern California, only at night. They weren't much to look at. I've never smelled the scent of creosote, I admitted. They only smell in the rain. What is it like? She thought about that for a moment. Sweet and bitter at the same time. A little like resin, a little like medicine. But that sounds bad. It smells fresh, like clean desert. She chuckled. That's not helpful, is it? On the contrary, what else have I missed not visiting Arizona? Saguaros, but I'm sure you've seen pictures. I nodded. They're bigger than you'd expect when you see them in person. It takes all the newbies by surprise. Have you ever lived anywhere with cicadas? Oh my god. Cicadas. I was born and raised in Illinois. And the cicadas. Oh, so annoying. And they say the cicadas only come out like every 7 years. But I swear I used to hear cicadas every fucking year. Where'd it go? Yes, I laughed. We were in New Orleans for a while. Then she said. I had a job last summer at a plant nursery. The screaming. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It drove me crazy. Oh, she's not kidding about that. It's a little bug. It's a little bug that I'd have to look it up, or you can look it up. It's a little bug that I guess comes up from the ground and mostly comes out to mate, I guess. And they make this like I don't know how to imitate it. Kind of, but is a much more high-pitched sound. How would I describe it? Tell you what, exit out of here real quick, go into your search bar, type in cicada sounds, and watch a short or a little short video that has that sound in it, and you'll know it is terrible. And they look almost like I don't know how to describe what they look like. Yeah, because it's hard to describe it unless you go hear it. What else? The colors are different. The mountains, hills, or whatever are mostly volcanic. Lots of purple rock. It's dark enough that it holds a lot of heat from the sun. So does the blacktop. In the summer, it never cools off. Frying an egg on the sidewalk is not an urban myth. But there's lots of green from the golf courses. Some people keep lawns too, though I think that's crazy. Anyway, the contrast in the colors is cool. What's your favorite place to spend time? The library, she grinned. If I hadn't already outed myself as a huge nerd, I guess that makes it obvious. I feel like I've read every fiction book in the little branch near me. The first place I went when I got my license was the Central Library downtown. I could live there. Where else? In the summer, we'd go to the pool at Cactus Park. My mom had me in swimming lessons there before I could walk. There was always some story in the news about a toddler drowning, and it freaked her out. In the winter, we'd go to Roadrunner Park. It's not huge, but it had a little lake. We'd sail paper boats when I was a kid. Nothing very exciting, like I've been trying to tell you. I think it sounds lovely. I don't remember much about my childhood. Wow, that's loud. Yeah. Right? Imagine a bunch of them in a tree. Oh my god. All summer long. I don't remember much about my childhood. Her teasing smile faded, and her eyebrows pulled together. That must be difficult and strange. It was my turn to shrug. It's all I know. Certainly nothing to worry about. She was quiet for a long time, turning this over in her head. I waited out her silence for as long as I could stand it before I finally asked, "What are you thinking?" Her smile was more subdued now. "I have a lot of questions, but I know." We spoke the words simultaneously. "Today is my day. Today is your day." Our laughs were synchronized now, too. And I thought how strangely easy it was to be with her this way. Just close enough. The danger felt far away. I was so entertained I was nearly oblivious to the pain in my throat, though it was not dull. It just wasn't as interesting to think about as she was. "Have I sold you on Phoenix yet?" she asked after another quiet moment. "Perhaps I need a bit more persuasion." She considered. "There's this one kind of acacia tree. I don't know what it's called. It looks like all the others, thorny, half-dead." Her expression was suddenly full of longing. "But in the springtime, it has these yellow fuzzy blossoms that look like pom-poms. Aw, pom-poms are cute." She demonstrated the size, pretending to hold a blossom between her thumb and index finger. "They smell amazing. Like nothing else. Really faint, delicate. You'll get a sudden hint of them in the breeze, and then it's gone. I should have included them with my favorite scents. I wish someone would make a candle or something. And then the sunsets are incredible," she continued, switching subjects abruptly. "Seriously, you'll never see anything close here." She thought for another moment. "Even in the middle of the day, though, the sky, that's the main thing. It's not blue like the sky here, when you can even see it here. It's brighter, paler. Sometimes it's almost white, and it's everywhere." She emphasized her words with her hand, tracing an arc over her head. "There's so much more sky there. If you get away from the lights of the city a little bit, you can see a million stars." She smiled a wistful smile. "You really ought to check it out some night. It's beautiful to you." She nodded. "It's not for everybody, I guess." She paused, thoughtful, but I could see that there was more, so I let her think. I like the minimalism. She's forgetting to mention that Arizona is also really hot. Making you miss summer. Yeah, it's coming faster than we think, though. But yeah, I was saying, she's missing the fact that Arizona is also really hot. Arizona, Nevada, oh my god, too hot. She decided, "It's an honest sort of place. It doesn't hide anything." I thought of everything that was hidden from her here, and I wondered if her words meant that she was aware of this, of the invisible darkness gathered around her. But she stared at me with no judgment in her eyes. She didn't add anything more, and I thought by the way she was tucking her chin just slightly, she might again be feeling like she was talking too much. "You must miss it a great deal," I prompted. Her expression didn't cloud over the way I half expected. "I did at first, but now, I guess I'm used to it here," she smiled, as though she was more than simply resigned to the forest and the rain. "Tell me about your home there." She shrugged. "It's nothing unusual. Stucco and tile, like I said. 1 story, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I miss my little bathroom most. Sharing with Charlie is stressful. Gravel and cactus outside. Everything inside is vintage 70s. Wood paneling, linoleum, shag carpet, mustard formica counters, the works. My mom's not big on renovations. She claims the dated stuff has character. What is your bedroom like? Her expression made me wonder if there was a joke I wasn't getting. Now or when I lived there? Now? I think it's a yoga studio or something. My stuff is in the garage. I stared, surprised. What will you do when you go back? She didn't seem concerned. We'll shove the bed back in somehow. Wasn't there a third bedroom? That's her craft room. It would take an act of God to make space for a bed in there. She laughed blithely. I would have thought she'd be planning to spend more time with her mother. But she spoke as though her time in Phoenix was past rather than future. I recognized the feeling of relief this engendered, but tried to keep it off my face. What was your room like when you lived there? A minor blush. Messy. I'm not the most organized. Tell me about it. Again, she gave me the "you must be kidding" look. But when I didn't retract, she complied, miming the shapes with her hands. It's a narrow room, twin bed on the south wall, and dresser on the north, under the window, with a pretty tight aisle in between. I did have a little walk-in closet, which would have been cool if I could have kept it tidy enough to be able to actually walk into it. I have a walk-in closet. My room here is bigger and less of a disaster, but that's because I haven't been here long enough to make a serious mess. Big chance of snow. Texans, not at all. I think I did see like a little bit of. I've been to Texas, like the southern parts of Texas. And I do think I saw a little bit of snow once, but again, it was a teensy bit. Making a wick before. What does that mean? I don't know what that is. Where'd it go? I made my face smooth, hiding the fact that I knew very well what her room was like here, and also my surprise that her room in Phoenix had been more cluttered. She looked to see if I wanted more, and I nodded to encourage her. The ceiling fan is broken. Just the light works, so I had a big noisy fan on top of the dresser. It sounds like a wind tunnel in the summer, but it's a lot better for sleep than the rain here. The sound of the rain isn't consistent enough. The thought of rain had me glancing at the sky, and then being shocked by the dimness of the light. I couldn't understand the way time bent and compressed when I was with her. How was all our allotment up already? She misunderstood my preoccupation. Are you finished? She asked, sounding relieved. Not even close, I told her, but your father will be home soon. Charlie, she gasped, as though she'd forgotten that he existed. How late is it? She looked at the dashboard clock as she asked. I stared at the clouds. Though they were thick, it was obvious where the sun must be behind them. It's twilight, I said. The time when vampires came out to play, when we never had to fear that a shifting cloud might cause us trouble, when we could enjoy the last remnants of light in the sky without worrying that we would be exposed. I looked down to find her staring curiously at me, hearing more in my tone than just the words I'd spoken. It's the safest time of day for us, I explained. The easiest time, but also the saddest, in a way. The end of another day, the return of the night. So many years of night. I tried to shake off the heaviness in my voice. Darkness is so predictable, don't you think? I like the night, she said, contrary as usual. Without the dark, we'd never see the stars. A frown rearranged her features. Not that you see them here much. No, I'm laughing because, hold on. What does it say? Walk-in closet. You deserve to be mine. Oh, thank you. I mean, you sacrifice sleep just to read that. Great. I'm a night owl. So, like, I work afternoon shifts because, so I've been working at the same grocery store for 8 years, and after a few years of working mornings, I started telling them, okay, I don't like mornings. So, I start either at 1:30 or 2:30 in the afternoon and get off by like 10 or 11 and come home, and I, for some reason, cannot get myself to bed before 5 a.m. I don't know why. I blame it on my ex because it's a long story, but I lived in Indiana for a few months, and then before coming back here, and like was here, then went to Indiana. Never move to another state for a partner. That's a lesson. Message is helpful review. What's it say? Yeah. But where was I? I lost my train of thought. What did I say? Oh, but when I was in Indiana, like before she and I moved back here and everything went to hell, she and I wouldn't go to bed till like 5 or 6 in the morning. So that messed up my sleep cycle, and I haven't been able to retrain myself, which I guess is fine because I don't like waking up early anyway. So so I guess it's fine because I still wake up around noon, sometimes before noon, to get ready for work. But I've already told all my managers, I'm like, I don't work mornings, so. But yeah, I'm always up till like 5 in the morning. Where did I go? Oh, I was laughing because when I finished the paragraph, have you ever seen I don't know if you watch Disney movies much or how old you are, but the Disney series, well, it's like a movie trilogy called Zombies, and Zombies 2, 11, yes. Have you seen the Zombies movies with Meg Donnelly and what's his name, Milo Manheim? Zombies. The second Zombies movies with the werewolves, where it's like, oh, we own what we own, oh, we own the night. That's what that reminded me of when he's talking about the Twilight. We own the night. You've never seen it? Oh, they're good movies if you like Disney Channel movies. I laughed at her expression, so still not entirely reconciled to forks. I thought of the stars she described in Phoenix and wondered if they were like the stars in Alaska, so bright and clear and close. I wished that I could take her there tonight so we could make the comparison, but she had a normal life to lead. Charlie will be here in a few minutes, I told her. I could just hear a hint of his mind, perhaps a mile out, driving slowly this way. His mind was on her. So unless you want to tell him that you'll be with me Saturday. I understood that there were many reasons Bella wouldn't want her father to know about our involvement. But I wished, not just because I needed that extra encouragement to keep her safe, not just because I thought the threat to my family would help control my monster. I wished she would want her father to know me. Want me to be part of the normal life she led. Thanks, but no thanks, she said quickly. Of course it was an impossible wish, like so many others. She started to organize her things as she prepared to leave. So is it my turn tomorrow then? She asked. She glanced up at me with bright, curious eyes. Certainly not. I told you I wasn't done, didn't I? He's got so many questions. She frowned, confused. What more is there? Everything. You'll find out tomorrow. Charlie was getting closer. I reached across her to open her door and heard her heart start thumping loudly and unevenly. Our eyes met, and it seemed like an invitation again. Could I be allowed to touch her face, just one more time? And then I froze, my hand on her door handle. Another car was headed to the corner. It was not Charlie's. He was still 2 streets up. So I paid little attention to these unfamiliar thoughts heading, I assumed, to one of the other houses on the street. But one word caught my attention now. Vampires. Ought to be safe enough for the boy. No reason to run into any vampires here, the mind thought. Even if this is neutral territory, I hope I was right to bring him into town. What were the odds? Not good, I breathed. What is it? She asked, anxious as she processed the change in my face. There was nothing I could do now. What rotten luck. Another complication, I admitted. The car turned onto the short street, heading directly for Charlie's house. As the headlights lit up my car, I heard a young, enthusiastic reaction from the other mind inside the old Ford Tempo. Wow, is that an S60R? I've never seen one in real life before. Cool. Wonder who drives one of those around here. Custom painted, aftermarket front splitter, semi-slicks. That thing must tear the road up. I need to get a look at the exhaust. I didn't concentrate on the boy, though I'm sure I would have enjoyed the knowledgeable interest another day. I opened her door, throwing it wider than necessary. Then I jerked away, leaning forward toward the oncoming lights, waiting. Charlie's around the corner, I warned her. She jumped quickly out into the rain, but there wasn't any time for her to get inside before they saw us together. She slammed the door, but then hesitated there, staring at the oncoming vehicle. The car parked facing mine, its headlights shining directly into my car, and suddenly the older man's thoughts were screaming with shock and fear. Cold one, vampire, Cullen. I stared out the windshield, meeting his gaze. There was no way I would find any resemblance to his grandfather. I'd never seen Ephraim in his human form. But this would be Billy Black, no doubt with his son Jacob. As if to confirm my assumption, the boy leaned forward with a smile. Oh, it's Bella. A small part of me noted that, yes, she had definitely done some damage during her snooping in La Push. But I was mostly focused on the father, the one who knew. He was correct before. This was neutral territory. I had as much right to be here as he did. And he knew that. I could see it in the tightening of his frightened, angry face, the clenching of his jaw. What is it doing here? What should I do? Always live at nights? Lately, yes. I've found that, let's see. Because I work till like 10 or 11 at night, going live at night is a lot easier than going live during the day. And I've actually found since I've started reading, more people are actually coming in. Before, like, if you look at my earlier lives, I would go live and nobody would really come in. Now that I've started reading, I can actually talk to people. Oh, goodness. I sure burp a lot after I eat. I don't know why. We'd been in Forks for 2 years. No one had been harmed. But his horror couldn't have been stronger if we'd been slaughtering a new victim every day. I glared at him, my lips pulling back just slightly from my teeth in an automatic response to his hostility. It would not be helpful to antagonize him, though. Carlyle would be displeased if I did something to worry the old man. I could only hope that he adhered to our treaty better than his son had. I peeled out, the boy appreciating the sound of my tires, only street legal by the smallest degree, as they squealed against the wet pavement. He turned to analyze the car's exhaust as I drove away. I passed Charlie as I went around the next corner, slowing automatically as he noted my speed with a business-like frown. He continued home, and I could hear the muffled surprise in his thoughts, wordless but clear, as he took in the car waiting in front of his house. He forgot all about the silver Volvo that had been speeding. I stopped 2 streets up and left my car parked unobtrusively beside the forest between 2 wide-spaced lots. In seconds I was soaking wet, hidden in the thick branches of the spruce that overlooked her backyard, the same place I'd hidden on that first sunny day. It was hard to follow Charlie. I didn't hear anything worrisome in his vague thoughts, just enthusiasm. He must have been happy to see his visitors. Nothing had been said to upset him yet. Billy's head was a seething mass of questions as Charlie greeted him and ushered him inside. As far as I could tell, Billy hadn't made any decisions. I was glad to hear thoughts of the treaty mixed in with his agitation. Hopefully that would tie his tongue. The boy followed Bella as she escaped to the kitchen. Ah, his infatuation was clear in his every thought, but it was not hard to listen to his mind the way it was with Mike Newton on her other admirers. There was something very engaging about Jacob Black's mind, pure and open. It reminded me a bit of Angela's, only not so demure. I felt suddenly sorry that this particular boy was born my enemy. His was the rare kind of mind that was easy to be inside, restful almost. In the front room, Charlie had noticed Billy's abstraction, but did not ask. There was some strain between them, an old disagreement from long ago. Jacob was asking Bella about me. Once he heard my name, he laughed. Guess that explains it then, he said. I wondered why my dad was acting so strange. That's right, Bella responded with overdone innocence. He doesn't like the Cullens. Superstitious old man, the boy muttered. Yes, we should have foreseen that it would be this way. Of course, the young members of the tribe would see their history as myth. embarrassing, humorous, even more so because the elder members took it so seriously. If you're new, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified. How much farther we got? Okay, we got a few more pages. They rejoined their fathers in the front room. Bella's eyes were always on Billy, while he and Charlie watched television. It looked as if, like me, she was waiting for a breach. None came. The Blacks left before it was very late. It was a school night after all. I followed them on foot back to the boundary line between our territories, just to be sure that Billy didn't ask his son to turn around. But his thoughts were still confused. There were names I didn't know, people he would consult with tonight. Even as he continued to panic, he knew what the other elders would say. Seeing a vampire face to face had unsettled him, but it changed nothing. As they drove past the point where I could hear them, I felt fairly sure that there was no new danger. Billy would follow the rules. What choice did he have? If we broke the treaty, there was nothing the old men could actually do about it. They'd lost their teeth. If they broke the treaty, well, we were even stronger than before. 7 instead of 5. Surely that would make them careful. Though Carlisle would never allow us to enforce the treaty that way. Instead of heading directly back to Bella's house, I decided to make a detour to the hospital. My father had a late shift tonight. I could hear his thoughts in the emergency ward. He was examining a delivery truck driver from Olympia with a deep puncture wound in his hand. I walked into the lobby, recognizing Jenny Austin at the desk. She was preoccupied with a call from her teenage daughter and barely acknowledged my wave as I passed her. I didn't want to interrupt, so I just walked past the curtain Carlisle was hidden behind, and then continued on to his office. He would recognize the sound of my footsteps, unaccompanied by a heartbeat, and then my scent. He would know I wanted to see him, and that it wasn't an emergency. He joined me in his office only moments later. Edward, is everything all right? Yes, I just wanted you to know right away. Billy Black saw me at Bella's house tonight. He said nothing to Charlie, but... Carlisle said. We've been here so long. It would be unfortunate if tensions arose again. It's probably nothing. He just wasn't prepared to be 2 yards away from a cold one. The others will talk him down. After all, what can they do about it? Carlisle frowned. You shouldn't think of it that way. Though they've lost their protectors, they are in no danger from us. No, of course not. He shook his head slowly, puzzling about the best course of action. There didn't seem to be one, other than ignoring this unlucky encounter. I'd already come to the same conclusion. Will you be coming home soon? Carlisle asked suddenly. I felt ashamed as soon as he voiced his question. Is Esme very upset with me? Ooh, let me get a water break. Not upset with you. About you, yes. She worries. She misses you. I sighed and nodded. Bella would be safe enough inside her house for a few hours. Probably. I'll go home now. Thank you, son. I spent the evening with my mother, letting her fuss over me a bit. She made me change into dry clothes, more to protect the floors she'd spent so much time finishing than anything else. The others had cleared out, and I saw that this was her request. Carlisle had called ahead. I appreciated the quiet. We sat at the piano together, and I played as we talked. How are you, Edward? Was her first question. It wasn't a casual query. She was anxious about my answer. I'm not entirely sure, I told her honestly. It's up and down. She listened to the notes for a moment, occasionally touching a key that would harmonize with the tune. She causes you pain. I shook my head. I cause my own pain. It's not her fault. It's not your fault either. I am what I am, and that's not your fault. I smiled humorlessly. You blame Carlisle? No. Do you? No. Then why blame yourself? I didn't have a ready answer. Truly, I did not resent Carlisle for what he had done, and yet, didn't someone have to be to blame? Wasn't that person me? I hate to see you suffer. It's not all suffering. Not yet. This girl, she makes you happy? I sighed. Yes. When I'm not getting in my own way, she does indeed. Then, that's all right. She seemed relieved. My mouth twisted. Is it? She was silent, her thoughts analyzing my answers, picturing Alice's face, thinking of her visions. She was aware of the wager and also that I knew about it. She was upset with Jasper and Rose. What will it mean for him if she dies? I cringed, yanking my fingers off the keys. I'm sorry, she said swiftly. I didn't mean to. I shook my head, and she fell silent. I stared at my hands, cold and sharp-angled, inhuman. I don't know. I don't know how, I whispered. How I moved past that. I can't see anything. Nothing past that. She put her arms around my shoulders, lacing her fingers together into a tight knot. That's not going to happen. I know it won't. I wish I could be as sure. I stared at her hands so much like mine, but not. I couldn't hate them in the same way. They were stone, too, but not a monster's hands. They were a mother's hands, kind and gentle. I am sure. You won't hurt her. So you've placed your money with Alice and Emmett, I see. She unlaced her fingers to smack me lightly on the shoulder. This is not a joking matter. No, it isn't. But when Jasper and Rosalie lose, I won't be angry if Emmett rubs it in a bit. I doubt he'll disappoint you there. Nor will you disappoint me, Edward. Oh, my son, how I do love you. When the hard part is over, I'm going to be very happy, you know. I think I will love this girl. I looked at her with raised eyebrows. You wouldn't be so cruel as to keep her from me, would you? Now you sound just like Alice. Kind and gentle. Yep, exactly. Now you sound just like Alice. I don't know why you fight her on anything. Easier to embrace the inevitable. I frowned but started playing again. You're right, I said, after a moment. I won't hurt her. Of course you won't. She kept her arms around me, and after a few moments I laid my head against the top of hers. She sighed and hugged me tighter. It made me feel vaguely childlike. Aw. As I had told Bella, I didn't have memories of being a child. Nothing concrete. But there was a kind of sense memory in the feeling of her arms around me. My first mother must have held me, too. It must have comforted me in the same way. When the song was finished, I sighed and straightened up. You'll go to her now? Yes. She frowned, confused. What do you do all night? I smiled. Think, and burn, and listen. She touched my throat. I don't like that this causes you pain. That's the easiest part. It's nothing, really. And the hardest part? I thought about that for a minute. There were lots of answers that could be true, but one felt the most true. I think that I can't be human with her. That the best version is the one that is impossible. Her eyebrows pulled together. Everything will be all right, Esme. It was so easy for me to lie to her. I was the only one who could ever lie in this house. Yes, it will be. She couldn't be in better hands. I laughed again without humor. But I would try to prove my mother right. Whew! I think that took me longer than normal. Oh, goodness. Ooh, that was a long one. All right. So that was the end of this chapter. Let's see. Laser too good. Okay. I'm trying to keep track of people's names that I see come in, as long as they're nice, so that I can keep a record of if I see the same names more than once. So far, I have never seen the same name more than once, which is very weird. These are too good. You're welcome. Too good. Yeah, the weird thing is, so last time I checked, I probably have 88 subscribers now with you. But I never see the same people more than once, which is weird. How many chapters? There is, I believe, 29. Yeah, there's 29 and then plus an epilogue. Let's see what the epilogue is. I think the epilogue is the dance. Let's see. Holy cow, that's long. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I would have to read the epilogue. Wonder is the Treacher Collins syndrome? Yeah. I've seen the movie with Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson. I've seen the movie. So it's based on the book, I'm guessing? The movie made me sad. I felt bad for him getting bullied all the time. Wow, I think this is the longest I've ever been live. And see, the thing that sucks is because I only have my phone, for uploading my live to my channel, it takes it like 12 to 13 hours to upload to my channel. Oh, okay, good. Okay. I might see if I can get a hold of that book. I might have to order it off Amazon. I'm trying to think of what other books, because like the main books that I have right now are romance novels by Debbie Macomber. And then I have this one. I have Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. So I had more books, but it's a long story. I lost custody of a lot of my books. But from going to Indiana and back, I lost custody of a lot of the books I had, because I had the Hunger Games series. I had all 12 of the House of Night series. If you've ever heard of like the House of Night. Studied Wonder in Language Arts. Oh, cool. That's cool. But yeah, I have to, I have a coworker who reads a lot. So I'll have to ask her what the updated, what the newer book series that everybody's reading now, and get a hold of those. Somebody asked me about 50 Shades of Grey, and I thought about it, but I love the Hunger Games. I love the movies. I love Jennifer Lawrence. What you call it? Because I don't want to read something that's really old that everybody's read, but if nobody minds, I'll read it, you know. I've read, I guess part of the Mortal Instruments books, you know, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass. And I had started reading, there was one more called City of Fallen Angels, and I don't know if I quite finished that one. You think it's in Target? I'd probably have to order them online, because I had all of, like, the House of Night series is 12 books. So I would probably have to order them online. But I'm going to see if I can get through this whole book without YouTube getting mad at me. So hopefully YouTube doesn't mind what I'm doing, you know? Oh, Wonder? I'd have to look. I don't have a car, so I have to use Uber and Lyft to get around. Another long story. I used to have a car, and then, yeah. So much drama. So I could probably look online. Yeah. Right. So we'll see if I get through the whole book without anything happening. So if we get through this book, then maybe I might be able to do more. But yeah. See, this is what happens. I run out of things to talk about and I start yawning. That's why I started doing this, because my older lives, I never knew what to talk about and nobody was coming in, so it was harder for me to be live. You watch tomorrow? Yay! Yeah, if I can get people coming in consistently, then I could start having moderators and people watching out for the weirdos, you know? Because otherwise, you know, when I don't have moderators, then I have to stop after every paragraph and make sure people are being kind, you know? Yeah, it's I try to go every night between 2 and 2:30 Mountain Time. So I have trouble keeping track of the other time zones. So between 2 and 2:30 Mountain Time. So if you're an hour ahead, it'd be 3 or 3:30 your time. My other lives, I would usually just sit and try to get people to come in, you know. Like, I did one where I made hot chocolate, and I did one where so I used the circle water bottle, where you can change out these. I did a live where I changed that out. And then, like, I've had one person come in on 2 of my lives, 2 different people. So that was helpful. But my other lives were only like 5 to 10 minutes long, because I'd sit and, like, try to think of different things to talk about to entice people to come in, and nobody would come in. And I wondered if it was because maybe I'm the only person going live at night, but I work during the day, so. And sometimes I don't want to go live during the day if somebody that I'm subscribed to is live, because I'm like, well, I don't want to compete with their live, you know? One of my favorite people that I've subscribed to always goes live in the morning, and I'm never awake in the morning, so I always miss her live. Oh, goodness. I'm excited because it's warmer weather, and there's a zoo here there's 2 zoos in Colorado, but the one closest to me, I live in Denver, so it's the Denver Zoo, and it's I'm a member there, and I've been going there for 7 or 8 years now. Gotta go live, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know, because, like, the people that I'm subscribed to, like, everything they do, like, to be monetized and everything, seems so difficult. Like, my brain, I have no business sense. Like, I don't know how to do all the things that they do. Like, Haley and Kendra, Queen of Vikings, Not Easy Being Wheezy. Those are 3 of the top ones that I watch. Call Me Chris. I love Call Me Chris. What you call it? Oh, goodness. There's a lot of cool. I follow mostly people that, like, are positivity, you know. So I follow some people that are, like, I don't know if you consider them positivity, but, like, they're honest. Like, they kind of call people out for being stupid or assholes, you know. See a book, you'll send them. Check the rating. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or, like, comment on one of my videos, like, you know, or comment on the live, you know, book titles, and I'll write them down. Write this down. If I, like, I'm one of those people that if I say, or somebody else says, like, a phrase that's part of a song, I'll start singing that song. I'm big into country and pop music, so I don't know many kids these days that listen to country though. You like Eminem? I don't really like rap. Um, the only Eminem songs that I've ever really liked are the ones where he duets with Rihanna. But but yeah, otherwise I don't really like rap. Monster's good, yeah. Monster and Love the Way You Lie are pretty much the only ones. I don't even know why I like those. They've got very dark lyrics. um, my top three, actually, well, I hope they'll always be my top three: Taylor Swift, Tate McRae. Who was my third one? I really love Lindsey Sterling, but Taylor Swift and Tate McRae are like the top pop. You know, I've loved Taylor Swift since I was in high school because I'm only a year older than her. So I've loved Taylor Swift since I was in high school, since her first single when she was country. A lot of people don't know that she started out as country and then crossed over into pop. Goodness. Oh, really? That'd be cool. I mean, I do quote of the day. I don't know if you scrolled through my videos. I do quote of the day. So I do like and I mean my views go up and down. You can scroll through my shorts and see how my views go up and down, you know. I don't know how the algorithm works very much, but I do quote of the day. So I do the quote before I go to work, and then you know, I try to encourage people to try to guess the movie, and then I do like I call it the reveal, where I tell people what movie the quote was from, or TV show, and you know, I'm like, oh, nobody guessed it, but I'll see you guys later, you know. And I try to always put the actor or actress that said the quote, like character, and then it's like, oh, this is this character played by this actor. If you watch too much, you'll pop up. It's funny because the algorithm sometimes, what you call it? Sometimes my videos get recommended to me. I even made a video about it, how YouTube had recommended one of my own videos, and I was like, oh, I thought this was funny. Try to get people to stay. Right? Yeah, I try. Hang on. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. If anybody else comes in, tell them I'm going to the restroom. I'll be right back. I have to pee really bad. Okay. Whew. Sorry, guys. Whew. There we go. Okay. There we go. Whew. I'm never usually online long enough to need to go to the restroom. But I'm always yawning. Ugh. Where'd it go? So, yeah. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, they make ones that for kids that are like half the size of the big one. They have like kids ones, like the Walmart near me. Well, actually, they move everything around all the time. But the Walmart near me used to have a whole display with like the bottles and like the kid size bottles. Now they've even got new ones that are they look exactly like the Stanley Cup, but they have like the function where you can put the pot in. And I'm like, those look just like a Stanley Cup. Yeah, I did a video. I did a video a while back where I changed the circle water bottle thing and was like, and I was like, hey, take a drink of water with me. That video got a lot of views. I'm always surprised to see what videos get views and which ones don't, you know? But what you call it? Yeah, this is great because I can't handle the taste of plain water. So I love that this adds fruit flavor as you sip it. And it fades out after like sometimes between 6 and 10 refills, depending on how many times, you know. Like I'm trying to get more water in my system. But sometimes I'll go a whole day at work and not drink much of it. This is actually the second one that I've drank today. I'm proud of myself because I drank a whole one at work and then I refilled it before I left work. Trying to keep my kidneys happy. And everybody has to drink water because that's how your kidneys filter out waste. So it helps your kidneys filter out waste. I love soda too. Wait, hang on. Where's Pepsi? I love soda too. I'm trying to limit myself to one soda a day though, so that I don't end up being humongous. My thing is like I don't work out and I don't really I probably should exercise more, but I have had bad knees for as far back as I can remember, even in high school. And I blame it on growing up I blame it on growing up Catholic and having to kneel on those pews in church. For kidney stones. Yeah, if you drink too much of it, I would have to look how much of it you would need to get kidney stones. Because I've been drinking soda my whole life and have never had kidney stones. I have had gallstones, and which cause pancreatitis, and which is why I don't have a gallbladder right now. So that's pretty bad. But I've never had a kidney stone. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. This is kind of wood, this little table that I have you on. It's a little TV tray. See, I never stop yawning, no matter how much sleep I get or what I do. Right? There you go. Right? It's delicious. Hang on, I gotta fix my ponytail. Oh, goodness. Hey, as long as you drink enough water, you know. My dad has diabetes and he still drinks pop. I switch between calling it soda and pop. Small content creator. Yeah, exactly. Need to help each other grow. I was surprised the last. I don't know when I started getting more views. I'm always playing with my hair too. The last several, I've started getting a lot more views. Like I've noticed when I end it, it'll show a lot more views. It'll stay chat rate 0 because not many people stay and talk. But what you call it? I lose my train of thought all the time, and my memory sucks. Add that to the list of things that my body hates me. I swear that I was cursed from birth, you know? Yay! FYP. I had other social media accounts, but that's part of the long story, controlling parents, yada yada. The last phone that I had years ago, like a few years ago, was my ex's phone that she gave to me. And then when we broke up, I had to give it back to her. And I didn't think to write down my passwords for everything. And I also lost the email addresses and phone numbers that I used to create those accounts. So, yeah. But that's good it was on the FYP. That's the... Oh, yeah, I know, right? So the FYP is the main page when you open YouTube, right? I'm trying to learn all these things. Because I even made a... Yeah, the For You page. So that's the main page when you open up, like the home page when you open up YouTube, right? The YouTube app, I'm guessing. Because I made a backup account so that I could check to see how my videos are doing. You know, to see if they pop up. Okay, good. Thank you. See, I need all the help I can get. But I made a backup account so that I could see if my video that I make pops up, you know, on the main page. I wasn't sure if YouTube called it a For You page the same as the other accounts. I also made a Patreon, but I don't know how to work a Patreon, like, because, let's face it, I'm not made for doing, like, spicy pictures, you know? I'm not the kind of person to do spicy pictures. So, like, there you go. So, what you call it? So, my Patreon will probably never be spicy pictures. It'll probably be mostly zoo pictures. Because the majority of the pictures on my camera roll are from, you know, my trips to Denver Zoo. So, that'll probably be all that's in my Patreon. I don't even know what else I would put in my Patreon. But I put the link in my bio. Somebody went searching at books. Oh, nice. There you go. But what you call it? Where was I going? See, I lose my train of thought all the time. What you call it? What was I? Oh, yeah, but that's most of the pictures in my camera roll is, you know, Denver Zoo. So I'm like, well, if everybody likes pictures of the zoo, what chocolate? I've seen those candies in do you have a store called Five Below in Texas? They have that chocolate bar in Five Below. If you've heard of that if you've heard of those stores, yeah? Okay. Sorry. I'm always picking at things. It's a bad habit. Bad habits lead to late nights ending alone. I love Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's great too. See, I told you, anytime somebody says a phrase or I say a phrase that's part of a song, I start singing that song. But yeah, Five Below has so much cool candy. If you've ever looked at all their candy that they've got, so much cool candy, and I've definitely seen the whatchamacallit. Where was I? Gaming laptop for $10 at Five Below? See, I'm not much of a gamer, so I, like, wouldn't know what to do with that. Like a keyboard? Just the keyboard or like the whole laptop? Trying to make sure what we're talking about. Sometimes I wish I was a gamer. But, oh, just the keyboard. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have the money to have a full setup, and I wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. So, I only have my phone, and that's why it takes 12 to 13 hours for my lives to upload to my account. Best Buy is like, yeah, Best Buy is expensive. I miss having a laptop though. My last laptop broke because I wanted a picture of like I wanted to have a picture of Bella for like in her vampire form on my as my desktop picture. But it broke my laptop. And then my laptop that I had bought like a bunch of the Sims games where they had like the Sims pets or the Sims where you can make them into vampires and werewolves and stuff. But it made my laptop run super slow. Like that's one of the games that I was obsessed with was the Sims. I like the newer ones where they looked more human. More lifelike, I guess. Oh, I was going to say about my Patreon because like before I made a Patreon, somebody had commented in one of my lives that they wanted to donate $500. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. And I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get monetized. So it's great that you want to donate, but I don't know how long it's going to take for that to happen. So I made a Patreon, but I don't know if anybody's going to subscribe to it. My whole existence is like, so my dad and my stepmom live an hour away from here in a town called Centennial here in Colorado, and like my whole thing on here's like keeping this a secret from them. So 1,000 sub for getting monetized. Yeah, I think it said 500 to even like apply. And like, what did I see? I had the picture. Hold on. I love that they added a green screen feature. I wish they had, where did I have it? Hold on. I had it somewhere. Did I have it? Oh, I must have deleted it. I swore I had it. I must have deleted it. Because I took a, oh, that's TikTok. Yeah. What you call it? Yeah, on TikTok you need 1,000 followers to be able to go live. On here I only needed 50. So when I first wanted to go live, I didn't know I needed 50 subscribers. And that took forever for me to even get, too. Even getting to as many people that I have now took a long time, you know? And I started knowing the numbers climbing more doing this on live, you know, reading. Yeah. What you call it? Same for you? Yeah. And then sometimes oh. I don't know what it did, but it's reconnected now. I wonder if it like stops after a certain number of hours, but I hope not. What do you call it? Where was I? Right. I lost my train of thought because so no. Because for a second it did a little circle like reconnected, and I was like, why did it stop connecting? What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. But when I started reading, I started noticing the numbers climbing more, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," to see people to see the numbers jump up after I get off live, and I'm like, "Yes." There we go. Sorry. I'm always picking at something. I can't help it. But because it's funny, I have a lot more videos than I have subscribers. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Twilight, when did it first come out? I'd have to look it up. But I've loved it since it first came out. It's funny though because I'm gay. So I only watch nowadays because I've seen all of the movies including, both parts of Breaking Dawn. I've seen all the movies and I've read all the books. But nowadays I'll only watch Breaking Dawn Part 2 where Bella's a vampire. Because she's a lot hotter than she was as a human. That and I love Kristen Stewart. So I've seen a couple of her other movies. Still Alice is really good. American Ultra, it was okay. Yeah, I've seen a couple other ones, but yeah. Goodness. The one thing that sucks is that you can't play music on live because they flag it for copyright. Ever been what? Yes. Why are we all of a sudden talking about Bibles? I was raised Catholic, but I don't believe in any of that anymore. I'll figure it out when I die. I'll believe when I die. Right now, I don't. The Bible can go do bad things to itself. Because how does anybody even know? We're just taking everyone's word for it on the damn Bible, I'll find out when I die. I remember my mom died when I was 17, and then 2 years later my dad got remarried. But my mom, before I even knew, or before I even years before I even knew or came out, I had a do you remember Tattoo? It was this band that I think they only made 1 or 2 albums, but these girls who are just best friends who pretended to be, together and made a couple albums. I had one of their first CDs, and my mom, when she heard one of the songs, actually threw my CD away and broke it and tore it up and was like, "That's a sin, yada yada yada." Joke's on her, I'm still gay. Okay. Flip this page. I think I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out what to write as the recap for tomorrow for today's chapter because I feel like not much happened in this chapter. Right now it is 4:07. 5:07. You don't want to go to sleep? I'm assuming your parents don't know what you're doing. There you go. Yeah. My whole thing is like, I just don't want to get in trouble with anybody's parents. Like, as long as they're cool, I'm cool, you know? I do not want anybody's parents being mad at me. Goodness. They know? My parents would have whooped my hide if I was up at 5 a.m. If I was your age. Goodness. Let's see. I probably do need to get to bed soon, but I figure I'll talk as long as whoever's watching is talking too. By the time this uploads tomorrow, I'll be almost halfway through my shift at work. Yeah, it's not too late, but you're already up late. What time do you have to be up for school? Oh, there you go. That's why. That's why. Because I'm like, wait, doesn't school start in a couple hours? I feel like spring break should be when Easter is. You know what I'm saying? Homeschooling. Oh, okay, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that as long as you get to still interact with other kids, you know? I've always wondered with homeschooling, like, do homeschooled kids still get socialized with other children their age? Pretty cool. There you go. Because you get to learn in your jammies. That's one fun thing. Is, you know, you don't actually have to get dressed or worry about what you're wearing. If any other kids, like, if anyone's judging you on your hairstyle. I would recommend making sure you brush your teeth in the morning for your mother's sake or your father's sake. Morning breath is gnarly. Of course, we all know that. But hey, at least you don't have to deal with bullies. That's one good thing. You don't have to deal with bullies. Oh, there you go. Exactly. I had piano lessons when I was little, but I always forgot to practice, and I was really bad at it. So one day my teacher quit. Like, I had a teacher who would come to my house to teach me, but yeah, I was there is not much that I've been good at in my life. Like I said, I'm cursed. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm good at reading, and I'm lucky that I'm good at my job because I've been working at the same place for 8 years. So I'm blessed that I'm good at my job because I'm a cashier at a grocery store. And I have a lot of regular customers that love me. And my supervisors and my coworkers love me too. So that's a plus. And there's a bank inside my store that's like built into the store that my best friend works at. Sometimes I worry about if I'm good at reading because sometimes I stumble over the words, and sometimes my brain puts words where they don't belong. you know? Like it'll add in words. Goodness. I'm excited. I ordered what you call it? I ordered Green River soda on Amazon because I grew up in Illinois, born and raised in Illinois, and every year for St. Patrick's Day, my family would always have like chocolate. I do love chocolate, but I ordered Green River soda. Um, it's like a lemon lime soda. It's delicious. I grew up having that with corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day. I don't eat corned beef anymore because the last time I had it, I'm pretty sure I got food poisoning. I got sick. So I will not touch corned beef anymore. But I still love Green River. And in Colorado, there's really no place that sells Green River. So I had to buy it on Amazon. So I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that it'll be not broken when it gets here. I'm hoping they'll be gentle with it. But I bought 2 4-packs. Oh, really? That's no fun. No holidays at all? That's no fun. Dang. You guys are no fun at all. I love celebrating holidays. St. Patrick's Day is my favorite. Second favorite is Christmas. All the pretty lights and everything. Sleep during those holidays or go on vacation. There you go. Vacations are fun. Goodness. Ugh. Oh. Dang it. Made it work. There you go. Yeah. I couldn't imagine not celebrating holidays. Like Easter's coming up. I love Easter. My family and I, we don't really do anything for. There's a lot of holidays we don't really do anything for anymore. We used to try to go to church, like when my dad and I moved to Colorado, so he could marry my stepmom. There was 2 holidays that we tried going to church, and it was too crowded, so we couldn't get in. So we haven't gone back. And I haven't really gone to church since not long after my mom passed away. My mom used to force us to go to church every Sunday, but I refuse to ever go anymore. Woo. Oh, goodness. Oh, dang. That's a lot of church, Tuesday and Sunday. I used to take choir when I was in only like 30 minutes. Oh, there you go. What you call it? I used to be in choir like in high school, but I don't think I'm as good of a singer as my family thinks that I am. You know how your family thinks like a lot of families think that you could do no wrong and that you're perfect, and then the rest of the world is like, no. Like, I posted a video for Halloween of me singing that. Have you seen Hocus Pocus? That come little children. I put chasing a ghost. Huh? I don't get it. Chasing a ghost? What do you mean? Oh, a song? Oh. What'd you call it? I think I would crap my pants if I ever saw an actual ghost. I have a friend who says that Tyler the Creator. Oh, I don't listen to him. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was talking about before that. Yeah, I think I'd be pretty scared if I ever a friend. I hate when I lose my train of thought. My brain hates me. Oh, one of my friends said that ghosts don't actually want you to see them, and that if you actually see a ghost, that it's really a demon, not a ghost. So I guess that's why I've never seen them. But sometimes I'll be in bed at night and I'll hear sounds that, I don't know, just sound. Don't believe in ghosts, but demons, yes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm skeptical because I guess I've never really had any experiences. So that's why I'm skeptical. And like TV, they could always fake it. So, like, you know, like paranormal caught on camera. Sometimes, like, I wonder if that's even real. But it makes it fun to watch though. I've learned that I can't watch scary stuff at night. It's hard for the naked eye, yeah. I've learned I can't watch scary stuff at night because then my mind plays tricks on me and makes me think that there's sounds happening that there aren't, you know? Like, sometimes I'll keep waking up at night, like thinking I'm hearing something, or like I'll be jolted awake and I'll be like yelling at my room, like, hey, let me sleep. Be like, man, if people could hear me, they'd think I'm crazy just yelling at nothing, you know? I liked that there was this filter on TikTok where you can like it was like a ghost filter that like would right? Yeah. Yeah. I'd be like, shut up and let me sleep. I'd be like, you're not welcome here, you know? I would never see anything, but like, you know, the way the house makes sounds, you know. Ugh, I'm always yawning. I think you're the only one who's ever stayed the whole time, the whole live. I've never had anybody else stay the whole live. Because usually, as soon as I start setting up boundaries, usually as soon as I set up boundaries, people don't want to talk. And I'm like, you can still talk, just be nice, you know? I'm like, geez, it can't be that hard. Oh, goodness. Pull this in. Ugh. There we go. Pull that in now that I'm not reading so I can put my feet up. Woo! Goodness. Right? I scare myself. Like, I can't watch scary movies because I scare myself too easily. Like, it's really easy for me to, like, just really scare myself and psych myself out of things, you know? Oh, goodness. Right? Uh, the one thing that sucks is you can't block people on YouTube. Like, the most I can do is, like, if I click on somebody's name, hang on. Like, the most I could do is hide user and, like, put in timeout. But there's no block button, which sucks. And I'm like, why does YouTube have to be so lame and not let us block people, you know? Right, and you can remove a comment, yeah. Yeah, where's my thingy? There it is. Kleenex. My nose is dripping. My spoon is too big. That's one for that's an old one if you ever need a good belly laugh. My spoon is too big. There's another one called Charlie the Unicorn, and then there's Llamas with Hats. Shows that I like. I like the Golden Girls. I'm trying to catch up on Grey's Anatomy, but I've only caught up to season 9. I finished season 9. I haven't started season 10 yet. I love the TV show. Well, it's on Netflix. I love the show Wednesday with Jenna Ortega. Oh my god. I can't wait for the new season. I love it. I really like I don't know how you'd feel about this, but I like Live PD. I think that's pretty entertaining. There's not a whole lot of TV shows that, well, I watch Saturday Night Live every Saturday. Whether it's a rerun or I already watched it. Yeah, I've seen the first season and I'm excited for the second one. And there's this guy I subscribe to called Travis Edits. And the I in his name is a 1. Travis Edits. He does really good edits of all kinds of different movies and TV shows. And he does these amazing edits of Wednesday. Oh my god. And I'm like, I love her so much. Like, if I was in the show, I would want to be, like, part of the, like, Enid and Wednesday friend group, you know? Because, like, I find myself agreeing with everything that Wednesday says. Like, everything she thinks, everything she says, I'm like, why do I agree with her? I definitely, like, can relate and agree to her, like, everything she says. I like when she goes, what is it? Oh, the first episode, she goes, I find social media to be a soul-sucking void of meaningless affirmation. And I'm like, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. And I'm like, if I get old and I stop liking social media, I'm going to use that. Soul-sucking void of meaningless affirmation. You must be the self-appointed queen bee. Interesting thing about bees. Pull out their stingers and they drop dead. She has some really good zingers throughout the first season. And I'm hoping the second one will be just as good. Yeah. Where Xavier's like, girls in glass houses, and she goes, should throw bigger stones. And then her arrow hits right dead center, and his is like off to the side. He goes, ouch. If I'd be like, bruh, you just got beat by a girl. I like all the parts where she whoops the boys' butts. Like the part where Enid is talking to Lucas, and she goes, "And my roommate beat your ass twice." Took her more than 10 times to reverse it. Oh, to do it like when they were filming, you mean? Are you talking about like when they were filming the show? Oh, rehearse it. Okay. Because I was going to say, if she got that in the first take, Katniss Everdeen would be proud. Because that was a Katniss Everdeen level shot. That's okay. I kind of guessed what you meant. I also like the fencing scene. I thought some of those moves were hot. I'm like, damn. Goodness. I hope so too. I don't know how long it'll take, but we'll see how long it takes. And I'm hoping that I can get through this book on live, you know. I don't know how many days it'll take us to get through all the chapters. Probably like what? 13, 14. Wait, no, we're on we just read. What chapter did I just read? We're on 14. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So like, and then the epilogue. So like 17 more days to finish this book. So fingers crossed that YouTube doesn't get mad at us. I was thinking of like, if I make it more like a book club, so like maybe start having a discussion after the chapter or something like that. Or like, well, I think I am kind of making it like a book club by like my little anecdotes throughout the chapter, you know. So hopefully they'll see like me making comments throughout the chapter and they won't mind so much. Hello, any new people. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell to be notified. I'll stay on as long as people are wanting to talk. If anybody stops wanting to talk, then I'll go. One more. Oh, then it goes back to 0. As long as you're kind and respectful, you can stay. See, people pop in and out, but they don't say anything. One thing I've been debating buying on Amazon is I used to follow this lady who used to do she doesn't have the dolls anymore, but she was a paranormal investigator, and she at one point in time worked with Zach Bagans from the Ghost Adventures crew, and she used to have a bunch of haunted dolls. And so she would go live every Thursday and be investigating these haunted dolls, and she used to have a haunted mirror, and I don't think she does it anymore. But she had this one EMF meter that I haven't been able to find on Amazon that it was the Cambridge Labs EMF meter, and I haven't been able to find that on Amazon anymore, so I don't know if that company went out of business or whatever happened to it. But I've debated buying an EMF meter, and I'm like, wanted to know if spirit boxes are real. They scare me, because I had this app. I don't know if it's just on iPhones, but my phone's an Android. So I used to have this app on when I had an iPhone. It was called Necrophonic. Necrophonic. And it scared the crap out of me. Like, one time I turned it on in my townhouse is a 2-bedroom, but I only use the 1 bedroom because I live alone. And I like it that way. I figured out after my last ex that I really like being by myself, you know? I don't need anybody else in here. But I turned it on one time and I was in the spare bedroom and the lights started flickering and I freaked out and turned it off. And then there was another app that I haven't been able to find on here called Ghost Radar Connect, but I haven't been able to find on Android. But that one freaked me out a little too. Of course, that one was just spitting out random words, like nothing that really nothing that resonated with me. Yeah, I know. Because this lady that I used to follow, her name is Stacia, she would use Necrophonic to communicate with the haunted dolls. The main one was named Katie, who, like, we all fell in love with Katie. Like, not in a creepy way, but we all loved Katie. And, like, she would cuss at us. She would, like, you'd constantly hear cuss words coming through the Necrophonic. Like, it'd be like, bitch, and, like, so. But yeah, spirit boxes and stuff is creepy. Actually, Necrophonic is the one that, like, makes a bunch of noises, like different little, like, and then words just randomly pop through. It's scary. I think it was fake. The app or I don't know. You know, you never know, because, like, the dolls seem to respond to Stacia's questions, and, like, she had these. Well, I have one of them. The app. Yeah, I don't know, because the dolls seemed to respond to Stacia's questions, but and then she would have these lights, these flashlights that like mini mag light. I have one. It's called a mini mag light that you gap, like you turn, like you just barely unscrew it, and then, like, the dolls could, like, turn them on and off. Those, I think, were real. Those would be, like, creepy. Because you'd ask questions, and if the light went on or off, like, for yes or no, that was always like, oh my god, is that real? But I've always been hesitant to investigate in my house, because I'm like, First Life who mentioned you. Oh, thank you. What you call it? Like, I never know what I could potentially invite into my house, and I'm like, I don't want to invite anything into the house. Sorry, I told you I'm always picking at something. I always get a pimple on my right cheek. Always, always. I don't know why. Oh, thank you. So I told him my body hates me sometimes. Like, I always wear my hair in a ponytail because if I leave it down, it gets in my way. And my hair does not cooperate with any other hairstyle other than a ponytail. So I always keep it in a ponytail. I'm like, it's just a lot easier than trying to do all different hairstyles. And it's a good thing you can't see up here because I have some, well, I still have some bald spots from, right? Oh, it hasn't even gotten into the good part yet. We haven't even gotten into, there's more. Like, haven't even gotten into some of the juicy stuff. Like, we're in the boring chapters now. We haven't even gotten into some of the more juicy stuff. I think some of the chapters toward the end will be a lot more exciting. Right, no spoilers. Yeah. I'm going to try my best not to, but trust me, the more we get into it, the more fun stuff, you know, more, well, not necessarily fun, but more exciting, I would say, based on what they go through. The one book that I'm probably not going to read on live is Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings just like drones on and on. Don't quit. Yeah, thank you. I need encouragement. I need as much encouragement as I can get, because it's easy for me to really like get down. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so. I try. It's really easy for me to get like, I struggle with low self-esteem, so it's easy for me to get down on myself and to really like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I struggle with motivation to keep going, you know? So, one person I follow, I don't know if you've heard of him. His handle is Bar None, and he always says you're not allowed to quit. So, I mean, I would never quit life. I could never do that. Mostly because I'm a big chicken and I don't like pain. So, so that's one of the things that has kept me from deleting my subscription to Life, we'll call it that, is that I don't like pain and I don't like not feeling good. So, like, I don't know how other people do it with like hurting themselves. I'm like, I could never. I don't handle pain very well. Even because I'm a Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor. It's a type of cancer. I used to have a big old baseball-sized lump right here, but chemo got rid of that. But even like sticking a needle in my arm, I'm a big baby. I'm like, ow, ow, ow. I am the biggest baby. I always tell him, I'm like, I need a countdown before you stick me. Yeah. Right? Definitely a big few. But even like, I've had to go to the hospital for pancreatitis. Before and after getting my gallbladder taken out. And I was still a big baby then. One time I got sick, was throwing up. And you probably won't get that till you, well, hopefully you'll never have pancreatitis. Hopefully never. Let's hope for that. But my hair's soft. I'm so weird. Sorry. I am very weird sometimes. But like pancreatitis like causes like a shooting pain. Like I was throwing up in the kitchen and I had a shooting pain going down my back. I had to call my dad and be like, it hurts. What do I do? And my stepmom was the one that ended up taking me to the hospital. But yeah, that sucks. And then hospitals that you can't sleep because they want to take your vitals every few hours. So they're always waking you up. A funny weird. Oh, thank you. Hopefully it's not like a bad weird, you know? I was always the weird kid. Like, even now, I don't really have many friends. Like, I've always been the weird kid that nobody wanted to be friends with. Again, I say I'm cursed. You're going to bed? If you would have told me earlier that you were going to sleep, I would have. Oh. Okay. Well, you said let you sleep. I didn't know what you meant. Well, when you do go to bed, let me know. Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's good that they check on you to make sure you haven't croaked in the middle of the night, you know? The one thing that always bugs me is like the machines that they hook you up to. There's one that like if you're not breathing well, it does a do 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 do. It's annoying as f. Like, and I'm like, I can't get it to stop beeping. I'm like, I'm trying to breathe right, but I can't get it to stop beeping. Hell, I'm even a baby about getting my blood pressure checked. You know, because it squeezes your arm so tight to check your blood pressure. I'm like, ow, it hurts. I am the biggest baby. As a sucker, thought it was 10 p.m. not that long ago, right? Well, when it was 10 p.m. here, I still had an hour left in my shift. Because every Thursday, because my grocery store closes at 11. So every Thursday, I work from 2:30 to 11. And then the rest of the days, I work 1:30 to 10. I'm always playing with my rings. This is officially the longest conversation I've had on live. So, what do you mean 7:24? No. The store is only open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. But I work, you know, because I don't work mornings, so like I work till 11, you know, stay up for a while, then go to sleep. I still get like 7 hours of sleep, so. We don't really have like my grocery store chain that I work at. There really aren't any locations here that are 24/7 anymore. And I think all the Walmarts close at 11 too. But I don't work at Walmart. it's like Kroger. It's a division of division of Kroger. Ugh, I might change this flavor before I go to bed. I always try to keep at least 10 of these little pods in my pantry at all times. I don't think we have HEB in Colorado. It's mostly like well, it's called King Soopers, if you must know. King Soopers and Safeway and Walmart. Yeah. I don't even know what time Safeway closes. I think they close either 10 or 11. Goodness. And the nice thing is I work only a 5-minute drive from my house. Only Texas thing. Yeah. You probably have Kroger in Texas, though. I know they have Kroger in Kentucky because my family took me to Kentucky for my 30th birthday. All my exes live in Texas. Country music thing. If you listen to country music, you know that song. Texas is the place I dearly love to be, but all my exes live in Texas. Nah. I love country. And I was born in 1988, so I grew up with all the 90s greats, George Strait, Reba McEntire, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn. The young whippersnappers don't know none of that now. I know that one. To the place I belong. I don't think I sing very well, but I try. There's a song called Forever Country where a bunch of country music stars do like a mashup of Country Road, and then they do actually I think it's a mashup between Country Road and I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. It's really good. You should look it up. It's called Forever Country. It is so good. And like at the end of it, Dolly Parton is the end, and watching the music video, I cry the whole time because like I see a bunch of country music stars that I love, and I'm like, oh my god! And I always cry at the end because Dolly Parton goes, "And I will always love you." And that's another thing is like, "I Will Always Love You" was Dolly Parton's song first, not Whitney Houston's. It was Dolly Parton's song first. That's okay. I love country music. Country and pop are mostly my go-tos. At any time of day, I can give you the entirety of "Greedy" by Tate McRae. I am like majorly into Tate McRae right now. Well, hopefully I'll always be a Tate McRae fan because she's so good, and I'm hoping to always be a Taylor Swift fan. Lady Gaga, that's the other member of my top 3. Tate McRae, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga. Love all 3 of them so much. And I'm starting to like Kylie Cantrell is starting to get into, starting her, caught in a bad romance. Ra 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 ah, Roma Roma ma, Gaga ooh la la. I tried teaching that to one of my coworkers once, and she could not get it at all. Ooh, there ain't no other way. Baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. My favorite Lady Gaga song is The Edge of Glory. I'm on the edge of glory. I love her so much. And her new music is really good too. If I had to make a top 5, the rest of my top 5 would be Kylie Cantrell and Dove Cameron. Oh my gosh. Dove Cameron has a new song out called Too Much. It's so good. I first heard it in a video of one of my favorite YouTubers, Claude Beauty 101. She used it in one of her videos, and I didn't even know that it was a Dove Cameron song until I saw a clip of Dove Cameron singing. I was like, oh my god! When I joined was in the beginning. Oh, there you go. Yeah, what you call it? But yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like, Dove, where have you been? Because I hadn't heard any of Dove Cameron's songs since Boyfriend and Breakfast. And then like she hadn't put any other songs out till now. And so she came out with a song called Too Much. You should look it up. It's really good. I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, but you should really look it up. It's good. I gotta pee again. I'll be right back. Ugh. say I'm too much, baby, go find less. Okay. Whew. I'm proud of myself. I've down like 2 of these today. Well, hang on. Oh, I am proud of myself. Whew. Did we lose you? If we did, that's okay. Goodness. Now I've got it stuck in my head. If you say I'm too much, baby, go find less. If you can't keep up, stay below, I guess. If I'm such a big deal, maybe you're too little. I forget how the end of it goes. Beginning of live. Oh, yay! It's rare to have anybody stay the whole way through. So I get excited about that. I'm hoping that I have a lot of views when I end it. I'll probably have to end it by 5 o'clock my time, so. Oh, goodness. Because I'll usually, like I said, like, usually the way it goes is, like, times it. It's 5 minutes to 5 my time. So 4:55. Oh, there you go. Yep. See, I'm always up late. But I never have anybody that wants to talk to me this much, you know? So I'm not used to it. I get excited. But I was saying in the beginning, you probably heard in the beginning of my live, that, like, this could be, like, what did I want to call it? Like a mental health thing for everybody, like, everybody's little respite from the world for a couple hours, you know? If this helps people forget about their problems for even a little bit, then I'm happy with that, you know? I want it to be a kind, safe space. If that makes sense. Because if I make an improvement in just one person's day, yeah, you're young. You're young. Wait till you're older. Wait till you're older. Well, that's another thing with homeschooling. You don't have to deal. Well, I already said you don't have to deal with bullying, unless it's your own siblings. Siblings is a different story, but yeah, if I can make a positive difference in one person's day, that'll be good enough for me. You know. Like, it'll be worth it. Older brother, there you go. I'm younger. Well, I have one sister and then 2 stepsisters. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to be seen as a positive creator. Thank you. I try. I follow some comedians, some some are not like professional comedians, but who are really funny. Oh, the one comedian that I do follow, actually there's 2. You know Gabriel Iglesias? Yes, Fluffy. I love Fluffy. He's so funny. I love that he can do like different voices and sound effects. Oh my god, he's hilarious. Him and yeah, I love Fluffy. He is so good. I hope he's still doing new material, because like a lot of his videos right now are like repeats of past shows. So I'm hoping he's still doing new shows. But another person I love is, have you heard of Jeff Dunham? He's a ventriloquist. Jeff Dunham is funny too. And then another person you might find funny, I think he's just starting to do a more professional career, is Ginger Billy. Look up Ginger Billy. He's like a redneck, like does a lot of funny. Oh my god, he is a hoot. Yes, Ahmed. Silence! I kill you. I love him. And then I like Walter and like Jose Jalapeno on a steak. Oh, and Peanut. JeffaFaDunham.com. Oh, and Bubba J. Bubba J is funny when he talks about his wife. Bubba J, is your wife pretty? Yeah, no. What's the difference? The light? Right? I wish I could do stuff like that I was that talented. Oh, you know who's really good at impressions? Ariana Grande is really good at doing impressions of other people. She hosted SNL, I don't know how many months ago, a few months ago, and she did a perfect impression of Jennifer Coolidge. Oh my god. She can do impressions of Jennifer Coolidge. I've heard her do Jennifer Lawrence. I've heard her do impressions of all kinds of different people, and I'm like, why can't I be that talented? Like, if you look up SNL, Ariana Grande, Maybelline, or just look up Ariana Grande, Maybelline, and, like, she does a skit with Chloe Fineman on SNL, and Ariana sounds exactly like Jennifer Coolidge. You might know Jennifer Coolidge if you've seen, actually, I don't know if you're old enough for American Pie. Oh my god. Sounds just like her. Thank you. I wish I had more talent, though. Like, it'd be cool to do, like, impressions of people. Like, but imagine if I could do vocal impressions. I would probably have 1 million subscribers like that. Oh, it's after 5. Ugh. So I should probably go, because I'll probably have to go to bed pretty soon. If that's all right with you. Good night. It was great talking to you. I hope you come back. I hope you come back every day, or as many times as you can if your parents will let you. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Bye-bye.